We're in a kind of a groove here. Just overall thoughts today's episode.
I think we're getting a lot of common issues. We're getting a lot of like leg issues. Can't walk. I have lesions or things of that sort. So I feel like we're getting a lot of similar cases towards the end. Yeah. But this episode was very short.
Yeah.
So we got only like 3 patients this episode, but we got a lot out of them. So we're gonna get into it, but I want to jump to it. But yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say this of all the episodes so far, this wasn't my favorite. I do feel like there was a lot of things that have been a holding pattern. We got some updates of old cases, and really only one brand new, fresh case out the box. And I mean, I'm sure we're not keeping score, right? Yeah. We're not saying we want all these cures happening today, but the idea is that you really want to be like a part of a progression of finding the cure for these other people. So even though it was that way, but there were some things of note which I definitely appreciated. So at first, I mean, Lauren was our first case, and she was the one we were talking about that had almost swelling overnight. She said she would like to dance, hang out with her friends. One day she woke up, she had incredible swelling in her ankle, and she didn't know what was going on. Just take me through that and how you felt about her case when she was going through that a bit.
Well, they always give us the backstory about what happened. So Lauren, she actually enjoyed dancing and doing sports, and then she woke up one day, she had a very swollen ankle, and they said that they put her on steroids. Now, she was on steroids for 19 months.
Right.
Now, that's almost like a year and a half? Uh-huh. So that's a long time, and as we know, that steroids give you a lot of other symptoms, and like she was gaining weight, things of that nature. So it was just scared that she was taking something that wasn't helping her, like the steroids, for example. So I didn't see the purpose in that part.
Sure.
But we later figured out that she has a PAN, which is polyasterosis nodosa.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah, to me, I didn't really know about the side effects of steroids. She was taking prednisone to cut down the pain, but her steroid treatment has led to steroid-induced type 2 diabetes, which I guess must have happened, the fact that it has a name, but I never thought about those kinds of side effects. But yeah, she was, there was a bit of a discussion there. They thought that she had either lymphedema or elephantiasis, which would explain the giantism of her limbs. And for a second there, I'm like, wow, if that sounds like it's critical. Elephantiasis sounds like something you would think that would be incurable.
So, yeah,
for sure. But yeah, she was specifically the cutaneous polyarteritis nodosa. And it says here, if the body is attacking the small and medium arteries in one of your limbs or extremities, which is really the reason why it's causing the swelling, because it's attacking her skin cells around the ankle. Just tell us about her prognosis for cure. She looked pretty happy that she had a diagnosis.
Yeah.
Didn't it seem?
I feel like all the patients are happy when they finally get to know. I wanted to touch down on that really fast. One thing I think is so sad to hear that all of these patients have been to doctors, and numerous of doctors, numerous of times for a lot of years, and it takes coming on a show like this to get a cure. Like you hear people say, I went to a doctor, they blew me off, they didn't know what the issue was. So it's kind of like makes you sad. Like, can I go to a doctor and they just say, we don't know, we can't help you? So I just wanted to start through that disclaimer. I'm just glad that Chasing the Cure is actually helping these people and not saying, oh yeah, we can't find nothing either,
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah. That's how I feel about hers. Lauren's case.
Yeah, that's a kind of a common trend with a lot of our people in our cases. They're doctors or primary care physicians, and not saying that talking about their level of expertise, but they see so many different things. It's still a human person making an opinion, or that's why we have second opinions and third opinions. Exactly. We'll talk about a little bit more with Sean's case, but when he had his access to so many different doctors, it was almost like night and day.
Yeah.
Right. But before we move on to that, Sierra, can you tell the world where they can find this AfterBuzz show and other AfterBuzz shows online?
Of course, guys. So, you can find our after show and all the other after shows on AfterBuzz TV on our YouTube channel. But we're not just on YouTube. We're actually on iTunes and Spotify. So make sure you go give us those 5-star ratings. Leave your comments because we love to hear what you guys think about all the shows. So, yeah, thank you for always tuning in. We love you guys, and just thank you for all the support.
Yeah, because we are the ESPN TV Talk.
Of ESPN TV Talk.
Yeah, I love it. Our second case today was about Sean, who was on a previous episode, the Leeds, Alabama native. I remember when Charles Barkley made a cameo. I was so hyped. I was like, oh, man, Charles Barkley on this show.
Think of all the stars that come.
6,000 calories, intaking every day, still losing weight, lost about 40 pounds in a little bit less than a year. He's hovering about 100 pounds now. And to your point earlier, he was saying his local doctors was just assuming that he was making it up or he was on drugs. So
it's
yeah,
so
I mean,
sad.
to your point, that was totally the struggle he was dealing with. But I thought it was interesting the last time he was on the program that the Mayo Clinic actually stepped up and said, "Hey, look, we'll take you for some kind of treatment." Thoughts about that?
Well, I was actually his story this tonight made me sad. He has two little girls, 11 and 12 years old, I believe, and so he's basically fighting for his life. You know, he's like, I'm just fighting for my kids, and that resonated with me because when my mom was sick, she was like, I just want to be here for my kids. You know, so it's just kind of sad that he had to go through all this just to get to this point. But I feel like we are going to get answers for him. We actually did. So the good news that it was no blood cancer or bone cancer.
Correct.
So we got that, but he does have arthritis in his hip, so they did suggest him getting physical therapy, and then
Isn't that rough to watch? Like when they were like actually moving his joints, and he was like, ah, it was like, ooh, yeah.
I know, it's so tough, and that's why it's so sad. And then now they're going to do a 48-hour stool study just to get further results for him, but. Yeah, we got some answers, but like I said, they're still, trying to test things out and see what it really is. So
yeah, it's kind of interesting from a scientific level how many things you can extract for the overall health of a person through a stool sample. Which I'm not saying I'm advocating that. I'm just saying it's interesting for me from a scientific level. So I was saying about the type of care he was getting because on the show today, his one of the most prominent medical facilities in his home state of Alabama came forward and said, "Hey, look, we would love to take your case on," and there is a bit of a divide there from the average person dealing with their own medical issues and those that make the show, and it's about access of care. I mean, we talked about that before with the rural members of our country, like who are dealing with things, but just walk me through your thoughts about having someone who may be suffering but may not have a path for a cure themselves.
Ooh, that's tough.
It sure is.
Because health insurance plays a lot in stuff. Like we have another patient on the show. She lives in a rural area, like you mentioned, so it's just tough. Honestly, I would ask the doctors on the show, like they reach out, and I know a lot of doctors actually say, we'll help you further after this.
Right.
You came to the show, we know your situation, so we have put together stuff on the side for you. So come on, chasing the cure. I don't know, because it's tough, because it's like, what could you do?
Right.
It's like, what could you do if the doctors say no, but you really need this medical attention? So it's like, I don't know, you have to figure something out.
And chasing cure doesn't even guarantee a diagnosis. I felt, to me, just watching it as a fan, that Sean had become almost visibly frustrated when the other doctors were saying, "Hey, well, you may have this, you may have this, and we're going to put you on a plan." It's almost like he really wanted a decisive diagnosis today, and he didn't get it. But hopefully it works out for him in the future.
Yeah,
right?
I think we'll get something. We'll get something for sure.
Sure. Moving on, this one was, I want to say, one of the more bizarre stories of the season. Susie was a woman in her late 40s, a mom, a wife, who woke up with a little bit of an itching in her ear.
Yeah.
And it turns out that she didn't have an itch. She had a brown recluse spider living in her ear.
That's like my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Funny story. I just have a story for everything today.
That's great.
Last night, I actually had a spider close to my bed.
Oh, yeah?
And I was actually on the phone with my sister. She was like, if you don't kill it, it's going to crawl in your ear. No joke.
Yeah.
So when we got this today, I was like, wow, that's real. That can really happen. So that was scary.
Absolutely. To me, I thought it was kind of unfair when they were showing a story and they were doing clips of spiders, how they were adding like crawling sound effects.
Yeah, that's like, was that even the real spider? Yeah, that was bothering me too.
Yeah, to be said, spiders in your ear are always a bad decision, but the brown recluse spider is really one of the most dangerous spiders on the planet. So had it been agitated, that could have been a whole other mess of issues. Brown recluse spiders, one of the side effects of their bites is necrosis, which is like cell death. Like their skin will actually die. So it's a good thing that she found the medical attention that she deserved.
Yeah, and I like that her story was kind of like a testimony. She found out what it was. The first time they actually had failure getting it out, but the second time they actually removed the spider. So luckily she said, to her luckiness, she didn't have any damage to her ear, anything of that nature, because it is a very venomous spider. So yeah, that was a cool story to hear.
Always
Something
go to your doctor if
positive.
something's not right.
Yes, no matter big or small, please go to your doctors.
Yeah, and don't use Q-tips to go boring inside your ear too. That's not healthy. You shouldn't do that. Not medical advice. I'm just saying from my experience, don't do that.
Or use peroxide.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can use peroxide. That's how you do it, guys.
And lastly, as a preview for next week, talking about Alex, a 20-year-old man that has somehow overnight had severe joint and muscle pain. Says that it hurts so bad that all he can do some days is just get up and take a shower, if that. They say the 20s are the prime of your life. Walk me through that. Just the idea of having that severe joint pain when you're being so young.
Yeah, like you said, he's only 20 years old, and he actually started to have the symptoms at age 16. And I know for me, being a college graduate and now currently back in school, I know how that can be tough he's forced to drop out. He was in his sophomore year of college, and now he has to drop out due to his chronic joint and muscle pain. So that's really sad to see. And like I said, he's so young, he doesn't know what it is, what caused it. It was so random, like everyone's issues happen out the blue. You know, you could just be sitting there having a normal, healthy day, then boom, this happens. So like I said, we'll get more of that next week. But yeah, I hope we get the deal. What's going on? Yeah, because I feel like we're so young to be going through muscle pain. And joint pains at 20 years old. So I really do hope we get an answer for Alex and something that can, definitely help him out.
They do see the 20s are the prime of your life.
Yes.
Right? But now it's time for our special segment. This is called Tools for the Cures. We take a deep dive into the technology and other advancements that are happening in the world of medicine. Now, I know that you're familiar with Apple, right? iPads, iPhones, everything. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that Apple is doubling down into is personal health. So the Apple Watch and all their other health apps or diagnostic tools have been part of the iOS suite for quite a while. But just some news that were announced this week, Apple is going to partner with Harvard and the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, the NIEHS, to come up with 3 separate studies that's going to go more into segments of health affecting people. One's going to be a women's study right here, one's going to be a hearing study, and one's going to be a heart and movement study. The idea is they're taking the data from the people who use Apple products. They can come out with maybe some sort of suggestions or maybe ways that we can improve our overall health. So shout out to Apple for doing that and keeping themselves ahead.
It's Apple. Innovative. Okay, Apple.
Yeah, I see you, Apple. Go
and honestly, Apple never fails to amaze us. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure this will be a very successful technology piece. So, I'm excited.
Yeah, I want to see what the results are.
Yeah, you guys check it out. Let us know when it happens.
Right. Moving on, it's now time for our new segment. Sierra, can you tell the world something we all learned from today?
Oh, yes, guys. So, I have to always make sure you guys are healthy and living your best life. So, I have a picture today called Eat the Rainbow. So, we know that colorful foods, vegetables, fruits are very good for you. So, did you know that if you eat red foods, it is actually good for your heart?
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you eat anything that's white, it is good for your immunity. If you eat anything yellow, it is good for your skin. If you eat anything green, it is good for cleansing. If you eat anything orange, it's good for inflammation. And last but not least, if you eat anything purple, it's good for antioxidants.
So what you're saying is I should have a freezy pop in every color then. That way I can be the most healthy person.
I'm going to need you to eat some strawberries,
I don't live forever.
Some corn.
Okay.
Like
there
we go.
That makes sense.
So those type of things.
That is not a pizza at all. Okay.
Well, healthy. I said fruits and vegetable, guys. So yeah, make sure you get some protein in your system, and because those can help benefit for those areas. So that's my little tip for you guys today.
Oh, thanks so much. I guess I'll put the freezy pops down.
No freezy pops. Get you some strawberries.
Just real quick, let's go into predictions. I have one prediction question for you. I'm curious. So we talked about Alex just a minute ago, 20-year-old person that's dealing with muscle pain and joint pain. Do you think next week he actually gets a diagnosis? Or do you think he doesn't?
Next week, I think we should, because I feel like, remember, we saw that they're actually already starting to work on it. So I feel like next week they'll give us the answers. They just have to, cut it short. So I think so.
Yeah, I agree. It's always great when the doctors come together and they have a diagnosis and a path for recovery, and I'm wishing them the best. But if it doesn't happen, I'm sure they'll keep tabs on his case. And if you know anything's wrong with Alex, you can always contribute to what you think at ChasingTheCureLive.com. But it's almost time for us to get out of here. Sierra, before I do you have any lasting words you want to tell everyone out there?
Guys, just make sure you always tune in. Please go leave your comments down and below what you think about our after show, what you like, what you don't like, or if you have any answers for the cures. But, you can find me on my social media at Sierra B. Stafford and on my Instagram at Sierra Stafford TV.
Oh, really? I should probably do that. I should probably follow you. Again, my name is Flobo Boys. You can follow me on Twitter at Flobo Boys, on Instagram at Flobito, and Flobito.com. And until for next time, be well.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.